So these are the door jamb switches. They are different. This is driver's side, and as you can see, it has a 3-prong connector. I have no idea why. I guess it controls different things, but anyway. The passenger side, on the other hand, has 2 connectors, even though it has 3 wires, 2 going into 1. I have no idea why that is, and I do not care. They also have these thick washers that are pretty corroded, so I am going to clean those. I'm going to clean everything. I do not want to spend $20 or $30 buying switches when these are just fine, I think. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to use my drill here with the wire wheel and give them a light cleaning, see how they turn out. So I polished these a little bit just to make them look better and also give them an extra layer of protection. They turned out pretty good. One thing I wanted to mention is these are supposed to rotate freely against this brass shaft, and what happens over the years, they corrode kind of and they get stuck in there, but you can free them up. That's how you are able to tighten these things without turning at the same time this portion of the connector and sometimes making a mess out of the wiring, because then you have the 3 wires, 3 prongs going in here, and you don't want to make a braid out of the thing. Not that you need a lot of turns, but let me show you how I free these up. Okay, so one way of doing that, so this, basically this nut will rotate freely against the shaft, is to, I take a screwdriver, you can use a small wrench or something like that, and basically, see if I can do this so you can see it. Basically, you want to just push against that, and as you can see, this is really corroded there, and you can clean it up a little bit, and then this will allow this portion, after you clean it up, to turn freely while this remains in place. That way, while you're tightening this nut, these the wires won't get all messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up. Sometimes you have to sand them a little bit. It's not a big deal, but again, you want to do both. See, and this one rotates easily now. You can even put a little bit of silicone or some kind of dielectric grease or something like that, just to keep them rotating freely. I thought I mentioned that just in case you want to restore yours. These hardly ever go bad. They get a lot of abuse over the years, and the problem is when people remove them or something like that, the connectors get all messed up, and you can buy parts for them, but why spend $20 when you don't have to? I mean, you hardly ever notice them, but when you do, you want to make sure that they're looking good and clean. And I think I mentioned earlier, these are different. This is for the passenger side, this is for the driver's side. I also cleaned and polished these a little bit, just so everything looks nice and presentable. And I'm going to use 2000 grit paper. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's still binding a little bit, but again, I'm gonna lube it, and that should help. I'm gonna use some white lithium grease because that's all I had handy, and that should be fine. And just be generous with it, and then remove any excess. I'm going to do both. All right.